Most people think computer viruses are just annoying pop-ups like a slow laptop, a frozen screen, or a fake warning telling you to click something. But some computer viruses did way more than that. They shut down companies, destroyed files, stole passwords, spread across the world in hours, cost billions of dollars, and in some cases they even affected hospitals, governments, and real-world infrastructure. The scariest part is this. Most of them did not start with some dramatic hacker scene. They started with one simple mistake. One email, one attachment, one infected file, one person clicking something they should not have clicked. So today, we are looking at computer viruses and malware that caused real damage. Not movie damage. Real damage? Money lost, systems crashed, data stolen, and millions of computers infected around the world. Before we start, there is one important thing to understand. People use the word virus for almost every bad computer program, but technically, not all malware is the same. A virus usually attaches itself to files and spreads when those files are opened. A worm can spread by itself across networks. A Trojan pretends to be something useful but hides something dangerous inside. Ransomware locks your files and demands money. Spyware secretly watches what you do, and botnets turn infected computers into part of a larger army. Different types, same goal, take control, steal something, break something, or spread as far as possible. And one of the most famous examples started with something that looked almost harmless, an email that said, "I love you." In the year 2000, millions of people received an email with the subject line, "I love you." Inside was an attachment that looked like a love letter, and because it sounded personal, emotional, and urgent, people opened it. That was the trick. The malware used curiosity and emotion, not advanced technology. Once opened, it damaged files, stole information, and sent itself to everyone in the victim's contact list, which meant every infected person became a new sender, and every new sender looked like someone the next victim already knew. So the infection spread extremely fast, offices were hit, government systems were hit, and companies had to shut down email servers just to stop it from spreading. The damage was massive, and the lesson was simple. The weakest part of a computer system is often not the computer, it is the human using it. Because people trust familiar names, they open emotional messages, they click before thinking, and malware creators know that. But I Love You was not the only virus to spread through email. A few years later, another one became one of the fastest spreading email worms in history. It was called MyDoom. MyDoom appeared in 2004, and at its peak, it spread so aggressively that it slowed down parts of the internet. Just like many attacks, it arrived through email. The message looked like a normal error notice or file attachment, but once someone opened it, the worm infected the computer and used it to keep spreading. MyDoom also created backdoor access on infected machines, which meant infected computers could potentially be controlled remotely. This is where computer viruses become more than just broken files. Now they become networks. Thousands or millions of infected machines can be used together. They can send spam, attack websites, steal information, or create huge amounts of traffic. That is why worms like MyDoom caused real damage, not because one computer broke, but because the infection spread at internet scale. One infected machine became 10, 10 became 10,000, and suddenly the problem was global. This is one of the scariest things about malware. It does not need to be physically close to you. It does not need to break into your house. It travels through networks, through email, through downloads, through trust, and sometimes through systems people forgot to update. That brings us to one of the most famous ransomware attacks ever, WannaCry. In 2017, WannaCry spread across the world and infected hundreds of thousands of computers in more than 150 countries, and instead of just deleting files or slowing computers down, it locked people out of their own data. A message appeared on the screen demanding payment. The victim's files were encrypted, and hospitals, businesses, transport companies, and government systems were affected. This was not just someone losing photos on a personal laptop. This hit real organizations. Some hospitals had to cancel appointments, some systems had to be taken offline, and people realized that a cyber attack could create real-world consequences. Not because the malware had magic power, but because modern life depends on computers. Hospitals use computers, banks use computers, airports use computers, factories use computers, delivery systems use computers, and when those systems go down, the damage leaves the screen and enters real life. WannaCry was also a warning about updates. Many infected machines were vulnerable because they had not been properly patched, which means a fix existed, but many systems were still exposed. And that is how malware often wins, not by attacking perfect systems, but by finding old weaknesses, forgotten machines, outdated software, bad habits, and people who click too fast. But if WannaCry showed how ransomware could hit the world, another piece of malware showed something even more serious, that a computer attack could damage physical equipment. That malware was Stuxnet. Stuxnet was discovered in 2010, and it was different from normal malware. It did not just steal passwords, it did not just show pop-ups, it was designed to target industrial systems. The kind of systems used to control machinery. That made Stuxnet one of the most important cyber weapons ever discovered. It showed the world that malware could move beyond normal computers and affect real-world machines. This changed how people thought about cybersecurity forever, because suddenly, the question was not just, can malware steal my files? The question became, can malware affect power plants, factories, water systems, and industrial equipment? Stuxnet made governments, security experts, and companies take cyber warfare much more seriously. And even though most people will never personally encounter something like that, its impact was huge. It proved that code can have physical consequences. A few lines of instructions in the wrong place can damage machines, interrupt operations, and change how countries think about security. But not every dangerous virus is famous because it was advanced. Some were dangerous because they spread everywhere. One of those was Conficker. Conficker appeared in 2008 and infected millions of computers. It spread by exploiting weaknesses in Windows systems and also through removable drives, which made it especially dangerous in offices and organizations. Because if one infected device entered a network, the worm could spread further. Conficker created a huge botnet. A botnet is a network of infected computers that can be controlled together. And the scary part is that many infected users may not even notice. Their computer might still turn on. It might still browse the internet. It might look normal. But secretly, it is part of something bigger. That is what makes botnets dangerous. They hide inside normal life. Millions of normal computers can become tools for someone else, used for spam, used for attacks, used for stealing data, used to create internet traffic. Conficker became so serious that security experts, companies, and governments worked together to fight it. And even years later, some machines were still infected. That is another scary truth. Some malware does not disappear quickly. It stays around, it hides, it survives in old systems, and it keeps reminding people how hard digital infections can be to remove completely. Then, there is another category of malware that does not always want to destroy your computer. It wants to watch you. Spyware. Spyware is dangerous because it can be quiet. No dramatic screen, no scary message, no big explosion, just silent tracking. It may collect passwords, browsing history, keystrokes, personal information, bank details, or private messages. And because it tries to stay hidden, many people do not realize they are infected until damage has already been done. This is why spyware is so dangerous. Ransomware screams at you. Spyware whispers. It does not need to break your computer if it can use your computer to learn everything about you. Some spyware gets installed through fake downloads. Some comes bundled with other software. Some arrives through phishing, and some is used in targeted attacks against specific people. For a normal person, the biggest danger is usually stolen accounts, email accounts, bank accounts, social media accounts, work accounts. And once one account is stolen, the attacker may use it to reach more people. Just like ILOVEYOU used trust, modern attacks. Also use trust, a message from a friend, a fake login page, a fake invoice, a fake delivery update, a fake support message. The design changes, the trick stays the same, make the victim believe the action is normal, then make them click. Another type of malware is less dramatic, but still harmful. Adware floods users with unwanted ads, pop-ups, redirects, and fake offers. At first, it may seem less dangerous than ransomware or spyware, but adware can still be a serious problem. It can slow down devices, track behavior, push users towards scams, install more unwanted software, and make a computer almost impossible to use normally. The danger is not always one huge attack. Sometimes it is a slow takeover of the user experience. Your browser changes, your searches redirect, strange pages open, fake warnings appear, and every click feels like a trap. This is why not every cyber threat needs to be advanced to cause damage. Some malware just makes people frustrated, confused, and vulnerable to bigger scams. Then there are Trojans. A Trojan is malware that pretends to be something useful, a free program, a cracked game, a fake update, a document, a tool, a download that looks normal. But once opened, it does something else in the background. That is why the name comes from the Trojan horse story. The danger is hidden inside something that looks harmless. Trojans are especially dangerous because they rely on desire. People want free software, free games, free movies, free tools, free shortcuts, and attackers know that. So they hide malware inside the thing. People want. Once installed, a Trojan might steal data, open backdoor access, install more malware, or connect the device to a larger network. The victim may think they downloaded one thing, but the real payload is something completely different. This is why free can become expensive. One bad download can cost passwords, accounts, files, and privacy. Rootkits are another dangerous type. A rootkit is designed to hide deep inside a system. The goal is not just to infect. The goal is to stay hidden. Rootkits can make malware harder to detect and remove. They can hide files, processes, and activity from normal security tools. That makes them dangerous because the user may think the system is clean. While the attacker still has control, rootkits are like someone breaking into a building, then hiding inside the walls. You might not see them, but they are still there. And the longer malware remains hidden, the more damage it can do. It can collect data, maintain access, help install other malware, or wait quietly until it is needed. This is why cybersecurity experts care so much about detection, because the most obvious attack is not always the most dangerous one. Sometimes the quiet infection is worse. By now, the pattern is clear. The most damaging computer viruses and malware do not all work the same way. Some spread fast, some lock files, some steal information, some hide, some build botnets, some target companies, some target governments, some target normal people. But they all depend on weaknesses. A weak password, an old system, a fake email, a careless click, a download from the wrong place, a company that delayed updates, a user who trusted the wrong message. That is the real story of computer viruses. They are not just computer problems, they are human problems. Because every system has people behind it, people who are busy, tired, curious, rushed, desperate, or distracted. And attackers use that. So how do you stay safer? You do not need to be a hacker, you need habits. Update your system, do not open random attachments, do not download cracked software, use strong passwords, turn on two-factor authentication, back up important files, be careful with links, and if something feels urgent, emotional, or too good to be true, slow down. Because many attacks are designed to make you act before you think. That is the real trick, not just code, pressure, fear, curiosity, greed, trust. That is why computer viruses caused real damage, not because computers are stupid, but because the digital world is connected to everything. Money, hospitals, companies, governments, personal lives, private data. One infected file can spread through a network, one stolen password can open a door, one ransomware attack can stop an organization, one worm can travel across the world, and one careless click can change everything. Computer viruses are not just old internet history, they are a warning. Every time technology becomes more important, the damage from attacking it becomes bigger. And the scariest virus is not always the one with the most complicated code. Sometimes, it is the one that makes a normal person click. Because once that happens, the computer is no longer just a machine. It becomes the first door into everything behind it. Subscribe to Stickology for more animated stories about the hidden systems behind mystery, money, power, crime, science, history, survival, and the world behind the world.